The conviction and sentenences for a Holmes County man for second-degree murder have been thrown out by the Mississippi Court of Appeals. 39-year-old Donald Wilson was convicted in 2017 for second-degree murder and possession of a firearm by a felon. The appeals court ruled today the indictment for Wilson was defective. The Court of Appeals is now calling for further action by a grand jury. Judges say the indictment failed to include an essential element in the murder of Christopher Robertson, or that Wilson actually possessed a firearm. Wilson was sentenced to 35 years in prison.